On this remote island of Brunei, the birth of a huge petrochemical refinery on the island soon aroused widespread attention and discussion around the world. This is the first oil plant built by China in Brunei. 15,000 workers plan to use 8 years to build this uninhabited and swampy island into a modern, world-class petrochemical and oil refining island. The project needs at least 94.3 billion yuan to get it. However, some environmentalists have raised objections to the plan, arguing that the petrochemical refinery will damage the island's ecological environment and may even pollute seawater. However, why China has a vast land and is also rich in oil resources? But what about building a petrochemical refinery in Brunei? In fact, as the most populous country in the world, China has a huge economic volume and a rapidly growing industrialization process, which has led to the country's demand for oil reaching the top in the world. Although China's oil resources are relatively abundant in the world, the currently detectable oil resources are 107.27 billion tons. But in fact, China's current oil market is not optimistic. Therefore, in recent years, they have not only imported a large amount of oil, but also ambitiously built some oil factories in foreign countries. This move directly shocked the United States. A company named Brunei Petrochemical Company built a factory in Brunei. Before deciding to build a plant in Brunei, the company visited more than 20 countries in order to find overseas refining and chemical projects. In 2011, they finally set their sights on a remote island in Brunei, Great Mora Island. This island is located in the northeast corner of Bandar Seri Begawan, the capital of Brunei, and borders the South China Sea in the north. The island is an uninhabited environment full of swamps and rainforests, but it is such a place, which the company thinks is very suitable for carrying out the oil refining and chemical integration project. Because compared with other Western or European countries, building a petrochemical refinery in Brunei has many advantages. The first, no matter in China or in other countries, running a business must pay certain taxes. For example, Chinese companies need to pay 13% value-added tax and 25% income tax, while taxes in other countries will be more expensive. But in Brunei, there is no value-added tax and no income tax for up to 24 years. In addition, in terms of cost, the price of electricity in Brunei is also much cheaper than that in China. Moreover, Brunei itself is an oil-producing country and is not subject to crude oil import quotas and refined oil export quotas. In addition, Brunei is a member of ASEAN, and it produces and sells to other ASEAN countries. The tariffs borne by enterprises are relatively low, and the purchase and sales nearby can save freight costs at both ends of production and sales. There is another more important reason, that is the problem of pollution. Some environmentalists raised objections because they believed that the reason why the company did not build the large oil refinery in China was because China had promised the world to achieve carbon dioxide peaking by 2030 and carbon neutrality by 2060. If the large oil refinery is located in their own country, it may make their goal impossible to achieve. Because opening a large-scale oil refinery factory, if there is no strict management, it may bring huge pollution. There will be many chemical reactions in the process of refining oil, and the process will produce gas. Some gases will pollute the atmosphere if they are not recycled. Industrial wastewater discharge is the main factor of polluting water, and the project has a lot of wastewater discharge. In addition, the sea area where the island is located is connected to the whole of Brunei. If the sea water is polluted, many creatures and water quality in the sea may also be affected. But in the face of these problems, the company and the Brunei Ministry of Finance firmly believe that it can be avoided and will not cause any pollution problems. Therefore, in 2011, the company decided to establish a 94.3 billion yuan, about $13.5 billion, joint venture with the Brunei Ministry of Finance to set up an 8 million ton level oil refining and chemical integration project on the island. Both parties believe that this is a win-win project, and the advantages for Chinese companies are obvious. As for Brunei, the petrochemical project on Great Mora Island is Brunei's largest foreign direct investment project in recent years. After the project is completed, it will not only bring a huge boost to Brunei's economy, but also create a large number of job opportunities and improve the local economy. Living standards of residents. In addition, the company promises that if it builds a factory on the island, it will build a 6-kilometer cross-sea bridge for Brunei to the outside of the island, improve all the infrastructure on the island, and train a group of powerful Brunei technical team. This seems to be very good. But maybe you also have a question. Brunei has always been known as the Little Kingdom of Eastern Petroleum. Why should it cooperate with China? Although Brunei has a population of only 440,000, it has a superior geographical location and abundant natural resource reserves. It is known as a rapidly rising Southeast Asian Dubai by the outside world, with a daily output of 240,000 barrels of crude oil. In 2014, with the advantages of fewer people and more resources, Brunei's per capita GDP ranked 5th in Asia, which surprised many countries and economists in the world. However, in recent years, due to the development of new energy sources and the changes and adjustments in the global industrial structure, Brunei's oil and economic development has gradually fallen into a certain predicament. In fact, Brunei's oil extraction and refining technology still needs to be improved. In recent years, Brunei has also gradually realized the defects and deficiencies of its own economic structure. Therefore, the government believes that this project will help Brunei optimize the industrial chain from oil extraction, oil refining to export of petrochemical products, and realize industrial upgrading. In 2012, 14,000 workers from China and 1,000 local workers from Brunei built this modern oil refinery in 9 years, turning the island into an oil refinery city, with a daily output of 280,000 bucket. On this project, both sides also paid a lot of sweat. For example, Brunei's infrastructure is backward, and the island of Great Mora is an isolated island with no people living on it. There are no roads, electricity and signals. The living conditions here are very difficult. If you want to build a factory here, you must first solve the problem of basic survival. So, they first started to build roads on the island and leveled the site so that the workers on the island could drink fresh water and keep the power supply and signal normal. The project to build the factory can only be started after the completion of these facilities. Secondly, all construction materials on the island need to be brought in from outside the island, but there is no bridge on the island leading to the outside of the island. They can only be transported by boat. If it is raining, there will be more swamps and mud on the island, and the area there are a large number of crocodiles living, which is very dangerous for the workers who come and go, and these factors will bring great difficulties to the project. So in order to solve this problem, the company decided to build a 6-kilometer long sea crossing bridge, which is also the first cross-sea bridge in Brunei. Its completion connects the island with the Brunei Muara district. After the first bridge was completed on May 25, 2018, Great Mora Island bid farewell to the history of no bridge connecting Brunei to the mainland, and also ended the history of transporting fresh water with small boats full of rivers on the construction site every day. For the export of oil, Chinese companies are still helping Brunei to build a highway connecting Malaysia and the international trade port Muara Port. At present, the first phase of the oil refining plant has been fully put into operation, with an annual crude oil processing capacity of up to 8 million tons, although it has not produced any pollution to the environment for the time being. But according to the first quarter report for 2022, the plant is still in a state of $11 billion in debt. However, the person in charge of the company believes that this is a reasonable operation. It is impossible for any project to pay back the cost in a short period of time. At present, after the completion of the first phase of the project, a large number of employment opportunities have been created for the local area, and the local infrastructure has been improved. Improve and drive the digital transformation of local industries. They believe that after the second phase of production is put into operation, it will accelerate the economic takeoff of Brunei. What do you think about this?